Hi everybody, welcome to another balloon tutorial. Today we're going to be twisting this little Cupid on a cloud with his little bow and then a little heart right there. Not very hard to do, but it does have a few extra balloons this time. Normally I try to do 2 or 3 balloons. In this case, it's going to be 5 balloons we're going to use today. But before we go over the balloons we use, I mean, you can already see them here. I want to take a quick moment to invite you over to my Patreon page. It's patreon.com/jlomagic. I'll put a link in the description below. And so, yeah, it's just a way for you to support this channel. If you like some of the content that you've been, hopefully you saw some of these videos and they were useful to you, I invite you to go over there and check it out. It's, like I said, it's just one way you can support the channel. I really appreciate it. Again, that's patreon.com/jlomagic. And so anyway, yeah, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the balloons. And let's get to it. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to use a white 350, and you can see I've got about a hand's width left there on the end. Very important. You don't want to overinflate this one. If anything, you're going to overinflate anything, it's going to be this. So definitely work with this part, getting that measurement right. So again, like I said, I usually have about a hand's width for me, so I don't overdo it. So anyway, let's go over this, the 260 we have. I'm not going to use all this, but I do have about a hand's width also. And this one is actually definitely overinflated, but that's okay because we're going to measure it out at the end depending on how long we make the arms for the little Cupid. And then the last 2 balloons I have are, I have here are the baby's head and a blown up heart balloon there. And then markers, I'm just going to use a white and a pink, okay? And this is a Eddings 750, just so you know, all right? In case you're wondering what in the world is this, or where would you get one of these. Larox is where I buy them, larox.com. So let's go ahead and, laroxmagic.com. Let's go ahead and get started. If you've never been to my channel before, thank you for being here. When I twist, I bring the sound down. That way we can minimize the squeaking, maximize the teaching, and I'll do voiceover as well. That way it makes it pretty easy to follow along. Okay, but if this is your first time here, I wouldn't suggest starting with this balloon design. I would go back and look at some of the other stuff that I have on the channel as well. That might be a little easier than this, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. Let's bring that sound down. Let's get twisted. The first balloon we're going to start with is the blush. We're going to go ahead and make the Cupid himself, and then we'll add the cloud around the Cupid. So we're going to do a 2-finger loop there, followed by a pinch twist, as you can see. And then we're going to go ahead and go to the arm, and then go right to a leg, and then match that of the leg there. And then we'll go over the measurements here just a moment so you can see them. Okay, so we got about 4 to 5. And actually, the arms and the legs are more or less the same size. I would go a little longer with the legs so you can really have them stick out. But don't make the arms too short though, because you do want them to come out a little bit, especially the right arm, because that's where I put the bow on the right arm. So it's up to you on which one you're going to put it on. But you don't want them to be too short, because then you have some difficulty getting that bow string to go into the hand there. So just keep that in mind, okay? All right, so now that we've done that, I'm going to go ahead and add the head to this portion. You notice it doesn't have a torso, but that's okay because it's going to be hidden in the design, so or with the clouds. So there we go. Right there, we're going to go ahead and add the head right in that center section there. When you do this, keep that nozzle nice and long. Don't pull it too tight, so make sure there's enough slack, because we're going to come back at the end and use that. So just keep that in mind. Always leave it in the same spot in the back there. Like I said, we're going to come back and use it at the end, okay? So as far as the white balloon here, I overinflated. I should have even done 6 fingers at the end, but the way I'm measuring it right now, you see how wide I want it to be? About where the hands are. As you can see, I'm just pointing that out, okay? So just keep that in mind if when you're measuring this and trying to play with it. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and do a pinch twist there, and then I'm going to do 4 bubbles. It's going to be a 3-finger, 4-finger, 4-finger, 3-finger. So again, 3-finger, 4-finger, and on this second one that I do, I'm going to actually twist the Cupid into that spot right there, okay? And then we're going to continue with the rest of our bubbles. All right, so out of all the design, this is the hardest part right here. It's just holding those bubbles, so just work on that. If you've twisted a balloon sword, it's almost that same thing. We're just adding in a Cupid in there now. So you see I went across and finished with another 4-bubble, 3-bubble, and then we're creating a pinch twist over here. We twist it into the nozzle, do a pinch twist, and now we're just going to go right back the way we came with another 3-bubble, 4-bubble, 4-bubble, 3-bubble. Sounds really funny to say that. Like, over and over. But anyway, that's what we're gonna do. And like I said, this is where you'll want to remember about that nozzle that you had on the back of the baby head, because that's what you're gonna use to kind of pinch those. Well, just help secure the baby in the cloud there, and kind of, you know, really, I guess just I want to say the word is nuzzle it in there. Maybe that's the word. Feel a little silly, but yeah. So I'm just going back across to the pinch twist with the bubbles, and you'll find that, you know, it's kind of that set of bubbles in the front there, the chain of bubbles that sit in front of the Cupid might just kind of be hanging out there and not really secure as it should be. And so if you take that nozzle and pull it through, that's really going to help it. So there you are right there. Alrighty. So now what we're going to do, once you've gotten that part done, like I said, that might be the hardest part of the balloon. Go ahead and pop off any excess that you have of the white balloon. As you can see, I'm trying my best. That thing just flew out of my hand. So anyway, now we'll be able to add the parts on the sides there. So there you go. So far, so good. Looks like we'll be able to add our heart and our bow. All right, and the heart, because I already had it inflated, can just go on one of the pinch twists. I like doing the left hand, and then the bow on the right hand. And so one thing to keep in mind also when you're blowing up the balloon for the bow, overinflate it, because it's no big deal to have it too long, but if it's too short, then you're gonna have to add more air to it. So it's always easy to take air away, then add it, of course, not unless you're ready to trim off the edge of a balloon and then inflate it some more. So again, make sure that you are overinflating that balloon instead of underinflating it, because you're not going to use all of it anyway, as far as the bow part, you know, the bow versus a string. So I'm just twisting it into that second pinch twist. There we go. Okay, and so you just decide how high you want to go. And so you see, I'm going about, I would say about 8 or 9 fingers. And what's going to happen is, you know, when we twist that segment, we're going to do 2 pinch twists and a loop. And what's going to happen is, we're actually going to, after we do that loop there, we're going to pull the string, well, I guess after the loop, I guess I don't want to get ahead of myself here. We'll do a loop, and then we will deflate what we have left over, our string. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull that string so it makes the curve of the bow. We're going to pull it back down to that pinch twist. Okay, so that's how we're gonna create it. But because we made that arm long enough, now that hand will actually be able to grab the string, which is really nice. Okay, so it's not just floating there, and it's not just hanging out there. He'll actually be holding on to it, which is really cool. And you, like I said, once you get to this point, you'll realize what you need to do. You could just put it in there. You don't have to. I didn't even wrap it around. I just jammed it in there, and it stays pretty secure. It's got a lot of tension there. So hopefully, like I said, you can play with this, have fun with it, now that you know the design. All right, thanks for watching. We made it to the end. As you can see, it is a little bit of a challenge to do this, but not impossible. One thing to keep in mind though is watch the nozzle for the baby head. It works out very good at the end here if you can get a hold of it. Leave it somewhere where you can see it and it's easy to grab. You saw what I did is I pulled it around the front there underneath, and I pulled it back around there so it could really secure that piece of the cloud right there to make sure it actually stays really well. Okay, so keep that in mind. And so let's go ahead and go over the artwork really quick. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I left you with a few tips there on making sure this ends up, you know, nice and something you can use. So I'm gonna go ahead and color this in real quick. A little pink for the tongue there. There we go. And then we'll do some little marks under the eyes there. So it'll just look cute, little blush. So you can see that's what we have so far. Ta-da! Okay. And you know what? It's also, this is not a bad idea. If you come up with a better and faster way to do this, I challenge you. You know, it's always fun to do that. See how much easier and faster this can get that you can actually use. And so, let's see. There you go. So this is one of those things where if you got a little extra time and you know you want to go above and beyond, this is something you could do and it'd be really cool. You know what I mean? I feel like it's just depends on how much you practice it. This may be out of the realm of line twisting, but it's pretty close. Just because there's a whole lot of twisting, but it's mainly these bubbles right here So just keep that in mind when you're doing this and playing around with it. But again, I thank you very, very much. I'm bringing it to a conclusion here. Hope you've enjoyed this. I had a pet hair. I could see it, like, and I'm trying to get it off. For any of you guys that are pet owners, you know exactly what I'm talking about when you're playing with your balloons. Hairs are sticking to them all over the place. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to rate, share, subscribe to this channel. And again, I'll say it one last time, patreon.com /jlomagic. If, like I said, if you want to support the channel, that's one way you can do it. I won't be saying that every single time. I just started it. It's kind of new, and so I just wanted to put it out there just so you guys are aware. That's one way you can support this channel. So anyway, until next time, I hope you really like design. Hope you have fun with it, play with it, get fast, at making it, so that way you can bust out something new and cool for your clients and the people that come and see you. Alrighty, again, thank you for being here, and until next time, happy twisting, guys.